Apo, tapos na ba kayong maligo?
Lola, just wait, Nagsusuklay na po. Ano po ba yon?
Nanay, tatay, gusto ko tinapay, ate, kuya. Wait lang, tara.
Ay, tara na. Tawagin na to.
Alam niyo ba kung anong meron ngayon? Birthday niyo po, Lola? Hindi ko kaarawan. Birthday ko po ba? Hindi rin, Rachel. Ngayon ay ang araw ng kapanganakan ni Jose Rizal. Yung ating kapatid bayani po? Oo, tama. Pero bukod doon, meron pa ba kayo ibang nilalaman tungkol sa... Ako, alam ko yan eh! Ops, tama kayong lahat mga apo. Pero hayaan niyo ako ipaliwanag kung ano ba ang mga nilalaman ko tungkol sa ating pambansang bayani. Walang iba kundi si Pepe.
Birth and hometown of Jose Rizal. In the Laguna Province town of Calamba, Jose Rizal was born on June 19, 1861 to Teodora Alonso Rielonda y Quintos and Francisco Rizal Mercado y Alejandro. In addition to one brother, he had 9 sisters. His parents were the Haciendas Lices along with the rice field that was adjacent to it, both owned by the Dominicans. As a result of Governor General Narciso Clavera E. Zelda's order requiring Filipinos to adopt Spanish surnames for census purposes in 1849, both of their families had taken on the additional surnames Rizal and Rielonda, though they already had Spanish names.
Lola Rita, 9 pong babae. At isang lalaki, dahil nakapatid nga no siya. Mangilan po ba si Rizal, Lola Rita? Ito na nga, hayaan niyo po.
Researchers revealed that the Mercado Rizal family had also traces of Japanese, Spanish, Malay, even Negrito blood aside from Chinese. Jose Rizal came from a 13 family consisting of his parents, Francisco Mercado II and Teodora Alonso Rielonda, and 9 sisters and 1 brother. Francisco Mercado, father of Jose Rizal, who was the youngest of 13 offspring of Juan and Cirila Mercado, born in Binian, Laguna on April 18, 1818, studied in San Jose College, Manila, and died in Manila. Teodora Alonso, mother of Jose Rizal, who was the second child of Lorenzo Alonso and Brigida de Quintos. She studied at the Colegio de Santa Rosa. She was a business-minded woman, courteous, religious, hardworking, and well-read. She was born in Santa Cruz, Manila on November 14, 1827 and died in 1913 in Manila.
Lola Rita, alam ko po ang ibig sabihin ng malayan.
Sige nga apo, ano ang Malaya?
Ang ibig sabihin nun, si Rizal ay may lahing Chinese.
At Pinoy din siya. Pwede po pala yun, Lola?
Oo, pwede yun. When your parents ay hindi parehong Pinoy, magkakaroon ka ng dalawang nationality.
Tama iyon, Amira. Kagaya kay Rizal, ang kanyang ama ay may lahing Inchik at ang nanay niya naman ay Pinoy.
Ganun ba pala?
Don Francisco Mercado Rizal is Jose Rizal's father. He was born in Binian, Laguna. He studied Latin and philosophy at the College of San Jose in Manila. After their parents' death, Francisco and 2 of his sisters moved to Calamba. He became a tenant farmer of the Dominican-owned hacienda. He was hardworking and independent-minded who talked less but worked more and valiant spirit. Jose Rizal described his father in his diary. My father was a model of fathers who had given us an education commensurate with our small fortune, and through thrift, he was able to build a stone house, erect a little nipa house in the middle of our orchard, under the shade of some trees and others. Doña Teodora Alonso y Rialonda. She was born on May 6, Santa Cruz, Manila. She studied at Colegio de Santa Rosa in Manila. She was a woman of refined culture and character. With exemplary literary talents, the fortitude of a Spartan woman, and with business ability, she managed their store. Rizal lovingly described his mother. My mother is a woman of more than ordinary culture. She knows literature and speaks Spanish better than I. She even corrected my poems and gave me wise advices when I was studying rhetoric. She is a mathematician and has read many books. Both parents greatly influenced Rizal as shown in his character. From his father, he inherited the profound sense of dignity and self-respect and seriousness. And from his mother, the dreamer and bravery for sacrifices and her literary prowess. Don Francisco Mercado Rizal and Doña Teodora Alonso y Rialonda were blessed with 11 children, 2 boys and 9 girls. They were as follows in the order of their birth. First is Saturnina. She was the eldest child of the Rizal Alonso marriage. She married Manuel Timoteo Hidalgo of Tanawan, Batangas. Second is Pasiano. He was the only brother of Jose Rizal and the second child of the family. He studied at San Jose College in Manila and became a farmer and later a general of the Philippine Revolution. Third is Narcisa. Narcisa is commonly known as Sisa, and she was a school teacher. She married Antonio Lopez, the nephew of Father Leoncio Lopez. Fourth is Olympia, commonly known as Ipia. She was the fourth of the Rizal children, and married Silvestre Ubaldo, a telegraph operator who hailed from Manila. Fifth is Lucia. Lucia married Mariano Herbosa, who was the nephew of Father Casanas, Jose Rizal's godfather. When her husband died of cholera, he wasn't given the honor of a Christian burial because he was a Rizal's brother-in-law. Sixth, Maria. Maria is commonly known as Biang. She married a man from Laguna, namely Daniel Faustino Cruz.
Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda was a Filipino nationalist, writer, and polymath active at the end of the Spanish colonial period of the Philippines. He is considered the national hero of the Philippines. Concepcion Rizal, also known as Concha, was the 8th child of Francisco Mercado and Teodora Alonso, and a sister of Jose Rizal. She died at the age of 3. Josefa Rizal's nickname is Bangoy. She's the 9th child in the family who died a spinster. She is probably the first handicapped individual to join the ranks of the revolution. Diagnosed with epilepsy at a young age, seizures had become characteristics of Josefa. Trinidad Rizal y Alonso, commonly known as Trinidad Rizal, was a Filipino feminist leader and a co-founder of the Philippine first feminist organization, the Asociación Feminista Filipina. She was the younger sister of the national hero, physician and writer Dr. Jose Rizal. Soledad Rizal, also called as Choleng. Soledad Rizal was the youngest child of the Rizal family. Being a teacher, she was arguably the best educated among Rizal's sisters.
Wow, Lola Rita! Ang dami po nila magkakapatid. Noong unang panahon kasi, paramihan ng anak ang labanan. Sige nga, sino ang mga magulang ni Jose Rizal?
Francisco Mercado II at Teodora Alonso Rialonda!
Ang gagaling ng mga apo ko.
Environmental influences of Jose Rizal. the natural environment of Rizal's birth town Calamba in Laguna that stimulated his artistry. The religiosity of Mercado family fortified his religious nature. Family members who are achievers themselves, such as his India-educated uncle Alberto, who encouraged the love for the arts. The athletic Uncle Manuel inspired him to take up physical exercise to strengthen his body, and the book-loving Uncle Gregorio, who instilled in him the value of reading. Jose Rizal's environmental influence is a topic of discussion among historians and psychologists. According to some sources, the natural environment of Rizal's birth town Calamba in Laguna stimulated his artistry. Other sources suggest that his environment played a role in shaping his character and values, including his concern for the environment. Overall, it is clear that Rizal's upbringing and surroundings had an impact on him, but the extent of his influence is open to interpretation.
So, Lola, may iba rin po palang hilig si Rizal dahil arts?
Oo, Amira, at dahil yun sa influensya ng mga taong nakamaligid sa kanya.
Hindi mo ba doktor din siya at tinaman niya ang mata ng kanyang nanay?
Ano po iba niya pangarap gawin? Isa rin siyang manunulat, editor, botanist, farmer, magaling din siyang mag-chess, at marami pang iba. Kulang ang isang araw para pag-usapan.
Wow!
The Rizals were regarded as one of the largest families in their era. Domingo Lamco, the family's paternal ancestor, was a full-blooded Chinese who immigrated to the Philippines from Amoy, China in the last years of the 17th century and wed Ines de la Rosa, a Chinese half-breed. Jose was raised in what would be called fortunate conditions, even in the Philippines of today, according to his accounts of his early years. They had horses and carriages, which were symbols of respectability and prosperity. His ancestors had been individuals of substance and influence above the norm for their eras on both his patrilineal and matrilineal sides. Perhaps the most illustrious family was that of Doña Teodora. During a time when professionals were scarce, the Alonso family could be proud of its lawyers, priests, engineers, and government officials. The Alonsos and Mercados were considerably closer to their workers than subsequent absentee landowners. They were ilustrados, that is to say, they could read and write and figure. They had newspapers and went to court and sometimes traveled abroad. They were of the Principalia, a class of Filipinos who were considered nobility during the Spanish occupation. That is to say, they could vote for the town mayor, they collected taxes, they had the preference after the Spaniards in town church and town hall, in civic and religious processions, and they could wear a European jacket or wield fork and spoon on special occasions.
Horses and carriages? Lola Rita, ang bongga naman po ni Rizal.
Bongga talaga dahil ilustrados din sila. Ibig sabihin, nakakapag-aral sila. At noong unang panahon, limitado lang ang pag-aaral, lalo na kung isa kang Indio.
Lola Rita, ano ba ang Indio?
Ang Indio ay ang tawag ng mga Kastila sa kanilang palay.
It is known that the full name of Jose Rizal is Jose Protasio Rizal Mercado y Alonso Rialonda. The name Rizal was adopted as Jose's surname when in 1849 Governor-General Narciso Claveria ordered all Filipino families to choose new surnames from a list of Spanish family names. Accordingly, a Spanish provincial governor who was a friend of the family suggested to Jose's father, Francisco Mercado, originally Lamco, to adopt the surname Rizal, which was originally Rizal, which means the green of young growth or green fields. Whether or not the name Rizal is in the list of Catalogue Alphabetical Leaders, which supposedly contained the family names and the imposition of the Spanish naming system in the mid-19th century, the question is, why of all names the word Rizal was suggested and why the Mercado family seemed to willingly accept it. The rice or greenfield theory, Ros or Rizal, which apart from the green of young growth or green fields, also means growing again, applying more to the aftercrop of corn and cut green for the feed of cattle. Provides an idea that the word Rizal is Spanish as well as Arabic.
The real surname of the family Rizal is Mercado, which was adopted in 1731 by Domingo Lamco, who was a full-blooded Chinese and the great-great-grandfather of Rizal. Rizal's family acquired a second surname, Rizal, which was given by a Spanish alcalde mayor of Laguna, who was a family friend. Thus said Dr. Rizal in his letter to Blooming Tree, "I am the only Rizal because at home my parents, my sisters, brothers, and relatives have always preferred our old surname, Mercado. Our family name was in fact Mercado, but there are many Mercados in the Philippines who was not related to us. It is said that an alcalde mayor who was a friend of our family added Rizal to our name. My family did not pay much attention to this, but now I have to use it. In this way, it seems that I am an illegitimate son." Whoever that alcalde mayor was, commented Ambassador Leon Maria Guerrero, a distinguished Rizalist and diplomat, his choice was prophetic, because Rizal in Spanish means a field where wet, cut, while still green sprouts again.
At iyon ang kwento ng lolo ko sa Rizal.
Lolo?
Ang totoo mga apo, malayong kamag-anak natin si Rizal.
Eh di, Lolo Jose na lang pagkatawag namin sa kanya, Lola Rina. Ano ba kasi ng pangalan ni Lolo Jose?
Parang yung pangalan ni Amira. Ano nga ulit yung buong pangalan mo, Amira?
My name is Amira Chanel Therese R.D. Makulangan.
Ay, Diyos ko, nakakapagod din kasi ng pangalan mo, Amira. At napagod din ako mag-uwi. Ngunit mga apo, huwag ninyong kakalimutan ang kwento ng lolo ko sa Rizal ninyo dahil malaki ang nagagtalan niya para sa bansa.
Bakit po, Lola? Ano po ang nagawa niya para sa bansa?
Naku, bukas na ulit tutuloy ang kwento ako at ako ay napagod at nagugutom na ako.
Me too, Lola. Gutom na ako.
Nanay Rita, Rachel, Isabel, Zia, Amira, Lucia, handa na ang pagkain. Halina, kumain na muna tayo.
Oh, sakto, tara na.
Lola, promise niyo po bukas, magkakantuan ulit tayo.
Bukas pag uwi ko, magbibigis ako para makinig, Lola.
Oo,